AI rig complex, or the ARC token, is one of the trending tokens today. It's up more than the average, and the question is, who's buying here? Is this really sustainable? Let's have a look at the on-chain data, the data that most people are not considering. So here are the top trending tokens on Solana. They are ordered by their liquidity pool size, and AI rig complex is at number 7. It's got a liquidity pool of 4.7 million. So there's roughly a 5x from here to reach number 1, which is Pudgy Penguins. Now in the last 24 hours, the price went up by 24%. The numbers of buyers and sellers isn't that different though. Have a look at this. There are 3,005 buyers and 2,951 sellers. The main reason why the price is up is simply because the buyers tend to move more capital than the sellers do. Now on the face of it, it looks like the ARC token rally might be pretty organic because 90% of the supply is already circulating. Only 5% is going to the team. But let's have a look at how organic this rally really is. Is there some kind of manipulation going on? We've got 21,000 followers on Twitter, or the X platform. We've got 4,000 members in the Telegram channel, and we've got 20,000 holders on chain. So all those numbers somewhat align. They make sense. It's not like there's 5 times more Twitter followers than holders on chain. So it seems like the social metrics are not manipulated. But let's dive deeper into those 20,000 holders. On the left side, we see the retail investor. So that's now the number of wallets that have at least 4,000 ARC tokens. At the current price, it's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, it's roughly $10,000 worth of the token. For the chart on the right, it's roughly $100,000 worth of the token. So we see growth across the board. Small retail tends to accumulate, and the number of whales isn't changing. So the whales are not dumping on retail. However, there is something very interesting happening. It seems like the number of new investors over time tends to rather decline. So on the left side, we see the number of first-time traders versus recurring traders. And there was, of course, a lot of activity on the first 2 days. But since then, it seems like is trickling down, while at the same time the price continues to appreciate. What's going on? The trading volume also tends to not necessarily rise. So on the left side, that's in US dollars. On the right side, that's normalized to 100% for each single day. And we can see how small retail, medium-sized retail, and large retail, they all have pretty much the same share of the trading volume. So there's no real shift in trading volume happening. But again, the most active days had been the first 2, and since then we tend to rather decline, yet the price goes up. Here's a solution to the puzzle. It looks like the smart money is accumulating. The whales are buying, the market makers are buying, maybe the centralized exchanges are buying for market making. Because check this out. On the 11th of December, there was only 11% of the entire token supply that was in the whale hands. So in the wallets that have more than $100,000 worth of the token. Today, that's 75%. So the whales bought the token massively. At the same time, the fraction that's held by small retail and by medium-sized retail continues to decline. So even though the number of retail investors is growing, the token supply is shifting to the whales. So the number of whales isn't changing, but the whales that are there, they are buying in aggressively. They're buying in much faster than the number of retail investors goes up. And that then also explains the massive volatility in the price, right? Where we can go down by almost 60% in a matter of a few hours. That's when the whales sell. It's the big guys that create the volatility. It's not small retail. Small retail tends to just buy and hold. They simply tend to accumulate. Also, medium-sized retail doesn't create the volatility. It's the large whales that buy and sell so heavily. Now, the macro picture very much looks like we are at a pivotal moment. It seems like we are very close to an altcoin rotation because the risk to reward for Bitcoin at this moment is not that great. Have a look at this long-term Bitcoin chart and check out those 2 red lines. At those points of time, the upside potential for Bitcoin wasn't that great anymore relative to the downside. So this is a very long-term chart, right? We did not yet hit the top, but we are relatively close to the top. Now those lines are not scientific whatsoever, right? They're simply just curved lines drawn on the Bitcoin chart, but they tend to connect the tops relatively well and they tend to connect the bottoms relatively well. Currently, we are very close to such a high risk, poor reward situation for Bitcoin one more time. Now again, have a look at those two red lines. Those points in time correspond with those red lines over here. This is the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance crashed when the risk to reward for Bitcoin wasn't that great anymore. What does a Bitcoin dominance crash mean? It means that Bitcoin as a fraction of all of crypto is going down. In other words, it's altcoin season. The altcoins outperform Bitcoin at that point in time. Now, historically, that rotation happened when Bitcoin dominance was at around 70%. This time it seems to happen a bit earlier, but it looks like we have already started the rotation again, because the risk to reward is not that great at the moment for Bitcoin. People want to get the multiple X returns, and they're not anymore that easy to be made with Bitcoin. And so what asset class performed the best in the last 7 days? It is the risk on categories. It's things like frog themed tokens or AI memes. And so the largest of the AI meme tokens are things like Fartcoin, which is currently at 44 cents, which had been covered on this channel when it was still at 5 cents. Or it's things like Goceus Maximus, which is currently at 56 cents, and it was at above $1.30 at one point, which was covered on this channel when we were still at 25 cents. Or here, another AI meme, AI16Z, currently at 67 cents. And we talked about this here at 28 cents. Now, how did I discover tokens like this that early when they still make multiple X returns? The answer lies in on-chain analytics and in wallet tracking. I like to track wallets of other insiders, of influencers, of top traders. And so have a look at the recent trade. I published this in the Gerhard Trade channel on December 10th, how I'm buying some Alchemist AI. And since then, the price appreciated by more than 40%. And it is the best performing token on Solana in the last 24 hours. This is not random. This is not luck. This is all happening because of wallet tracking, because we get transactions whenever influencers and top traders are buying. Here, have a look at this recent trade by Crypto Gains. He bought Morph AI, and this is the chart. This is a channel of Crypto Gains. He's got 140,000 subscribers, and he talks about small cap cryptocurrencies regularly. And we are tracking 55 of his wallets. Or have a look at Crypto Banter. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about a token, especially a small cap cryptocurrency, of course, this generates a lot of attention. Attention turns into purchases. Purchases turn into rising prices. And so we are tracking 33 of Crypto Banter's wallets. Or check out Alex Becker, 1.5 million subscribers. Through on-chain analytics, we found 12 of his wallets. Those are not official wallets, right? Those are wallets that we find through various means. Now, what kind of means? It's explained over here in this tutorial course. It's 8 videos in total. It's explaining how to find influencer wallets, how to track influencer wallets, and how to then interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. Premium is not just about wallet tracking, it's also about on-chain analytics, it's also about backtesting, it's also about risk mitigation and portfolio diversification. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. And so if you want to stop just chasing the trends, if you want to be early, then feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, when it's the whales that make all of the price action in the ARK token, when they pump it and they dump it to then afterwards pump it again, is there more upside potential? Can we expect that the whales are going to continue to buy? Now, AI rig complex has been launched via the pump.fun ecosystem. And within that ecosystem, there is still some upside. So the market cap is currently at 270 million. And with a 2x, we'd still be below Peanut. With a 3x, we'd still be below Fartcoin. Is there going to be another 4x from here? Probably not. We're probably not going to see a $1 for AI rig complex, but still. The main factor that now determines whether or not we can go higher from here is the listing by those centralized exchanges. Who's actually buying? Because right now, most trading volume still happens on decentralized exchanges. It still happens on Radium. And that then means that there's still some upside once a listing gets announced, when it's then also traded on Qcoin or on HTX or maybe even on Binance, we can easily get our 2x or 3x. And I believe this is the likely scenario, again, because the whales are buying. There are some people that know more about this token than the average Joe does. The whales now hold 200 million worth of the token, and that's probably with some reason. And so I'm considering to buy the ARK token as well, again speculating on a centralized exchange listing. I haven't bought any yet because I don't want to pump and dump on this audience, right? I'm not buying a token in order to then afterwards promote it. I try to be as objective as possible, and I always buy after publishing. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.